What the heck is a test shot? Dorklare! Welcome to another Dorklare collecting video. So Four Horsemen Studios recently announced a series of weekly in-stock sales focused primarily on factory test shots of figures from their most recent waves, Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, and Figura Obscura. This video will cover what is a test shot, what exactly will be available when, and what should collectors expect from these sales. I did break this video up into chapters, so feel free to jump around to whichever section interests you the most. Okay, so first up, I had a lot of people asking me what exactly is a test shot, and so I thought I would start with that. Essentially, part of the production process is to troubleshoot the molds by making factory samples and then inspecting those to see if there are any issues and then resolving those issues. But one cool thing that Four Horsemen does is they produce extra test shots. They produce extra factory samples, and then they sell those to customers as sort of like a limited edition curiosity kind of an item. Effectively, what you're getting when you order a test shot is an unpainted factory sample cast in gray plastic, pretty much as simple as that. Some people like them, some people don't. On the one hand, they're highly collectible and incredibly rare, but on the other hand, they're essentially lesser product for more money. The full production figures are going to just represent much more inherent value than an unpainted test shot that costs more. Some people are obsessed with collecting all of these. I have seen some collectors with a full set of Mythic Legions test shots, which is kind of wild to me. And then others, like myself, just have like one or two for the collection. Some people will like display them almost as a statue to be worshipped because it's, you know, cast in gray plastic. It kind of looks like stone, or maybe like a Gorgonized character that's been like scared to stone or something like that. Just like one or two off in the collection. By the way, I'd love to hear what you think about test shots. Do you like them? Is this concept interesting to you? Do you think they're dumb? Is it a ripoff? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Personally, I have never really been that into them unless they give you a look at a figure early before it's released, which is exactly what's going on here on the 11th of February with the Cosmic Legions test shots. We're going to get an early look at these figures, so I find it very intriguing and highly appealing to me in that regard. Which brings us to the next question. What exactly will be available and when? Okay, starting with pricing, we won't actually have the pricing until the day of the sale. We're not going to know really ahead of time how much they're going to be, but we can kind of go off of the prior sales that they've done for test shots. So looking back, they used to be $50. The standard $35 figures used to be $50 for a test shot. And I think later on they were $60 for a standard figure. So I expect it to be in that range. So something that on pre-order would have been $37 would be $60, I think, in this sale. Maybe it'll be $65. Maybe they'll bump it up again a little bit or something like that. These are like more expensive, believe it or not, for them because these are such a small little production run and they're shipped over. I don't think these are freighted over. These are like mailed over. So the shipping costs to them and then also the workers in the warehouse and stuff, it's just smaller batch just means the per figure cost is going to be more. So that's, I think, why these cost more than your typical figure. And of course, the deluxe figures will be even more. Like, I'm trying to imagine what the Headless Horseman, which retailed at $120, would be. Maybe that's going to be like $200 in a sale like this. I'm not entirely sure. So for a product like this, you're definitely not paying for the inherent value here of the product itself. If you just take the ones and zeros, the X's and O's, and add it all up, it just doesn't make sense. But it is definitely for people who like limited edition things that are kind of quirky and weird and unique, but definitely not for everyone. Four Horsemen are limiting the number of any individual character to one per customer, and the total per sale drop is going to be 2 per customer. So for example, you could get one Alethea and one Artemis during the Alethea wave sale, but you couldn't get 2 Aletheas, or you couldn't get an Alethea plus an Artemis plus a Valak. It's very limited on what they're going to do so that more people can get these very limited things. And so that brings us to the when. Here's the schedule. On Saturday, January 28th, the first drop, 12 p.m. Eastern time, the Mythic Legions Alethea wave test shots are going to go up. So all of the characters from the Alethea wave of Mythic Legions that dropped middle of last year, those will be up in test shot form. And then Saturday, February 4th, you're going to have the Deluxe Legion Builders wave. I think there's what, like 6 regular figures, and then you have the ogre scale half giant. And then you have the Headless Horseman Figura Obscura also on the 4th. And then on Saturday, February 11th at 12 o'clock, you're going to have the Cosmic Legions test shots from the first wave of Cosmic Legions, Volcatar Book 1. So all of the characters from that wave should be up. Again, limited quantities of those figures, and only 1 per person per character, or 2 total figures per person as well. And then finally, there is an additional in-stock sale 1 week after that, which is the Legions Con exclusive figures. So you had the Unknown one, which is going to be $50 on a regular. It's going to be like the regular release of the Unknown one without the exclusive skull head sculpt. And then you're going to have the Furious 4. There's 2 figures. Each one comes with 2 different heads, and each of those is going to be a standard $37 figure. And I believe those are also going to be in stock items, so those will ship right away. Okay, finally, strategy and what collectors should expect going into a sale like this, a super limited sale from Four Horsemen Studios. Basically, it's gonna be a bloodbath. We're talking super limited quantities here. In the past, like years ago, it was like 10 per figure, and then I think they upped it to 20. So we're talking like double digits here. We're not talking hundreds of each. Each character is only going to be 20, 30. I don't even know. Like maybe they'll up it. Maybe they'll keep it at 20. I don't even know. But it's going to be very limited quantities here, which means we're talking instant sellouts for the popular ones. My advice is to prep and be ready, but don't be too surprised if you go to checkout and the thing is out of stock once you get to the checkout phase. When there are 100 people simultaneously trying to purchase 10 Alder the Moose, 90 people are going to be disappointed. Especially hot will be the figures that have not yet been released, and that means the Cosmic Legions. That means the February 11th drop is probably going to be the biggest bloodbath of them all. And for me, somebody who wants to get these things in hand early, I'm going to be a part of that mess as well. So I thought I would share some of my own strategy going into the 11th sale, and to hopefully help collectors, especially who have never done an in-stock sale from Four Horsemen Studios, maybe get a little bit of an advantage and what to expect from this whole thing. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, please press that thumbs up button to show your support. And if you are interested in more videos like this, do not forget to subscribe. Okay, my strategy number 1 is to pick 1 figure. I know you're allowed to. You could get 1 figure and then another character in one sale, but my advice, pick just 1. The people who pick just 1 are going to have an advantage because they are much less likely to get cart jacked than people who pick 2. When you pick 2, put them in your cart, and then one of them is gone, especially if it's a popular one and it goes real quick, and then your cart says, this is out of stock, then you have to remove it from your cart, start the checkout process again, and then there's a good chance that the other figure is gone too, and you try to go back and look for something and you scramble, and just grab 1. I know it can be difficult with shipping because you're going to pay like, what, $60 potentially for the figure, and then another $10 to $20, possibly more, especially if you're like far away from Four Horsemen Studios in New Jersey. So it's going to be, you know, like potentially like $70, $80+ for 1 figure, but you know, you're already overspending on something like this, you know, in terms of like value product. So just go ahead and do 1, you know, and the strategy of going for 2, that's going to spread that shipping out, but it's also going to raise your risk of missing out. Even with 1 figure in your cart, you still might get cart jacked, especially if it's a popular character. So my second strategy is to pick a potentially like a second tier, or like maybe my second or third choice, and try to avoid picking something that everybody's going to be going after. My gut is telling me that I want like Slog or Kragnar or Thygar, some of the crazy looking aliens, but my brain is saying maybe I should like dial it back and pick, I don't know, Vorga or something that might not be the top 3 figures. Strategy number 3, now that I have my target set, is I want to give myself the best chance of getting this figure. So I'm not going to try to get it on my phone at lunch with the family. If at all possible, I'm going to be at home at my desktop computer, undistracted and ready to roll for that noontime drop, being logged into storehorseman.com and ready to go like at least 5 minutes ahead of time is a really good plan. I usually start refreshing like 1 or 2 minutes before the drop time. Also, another good strategy is having your credit card saved in your browser's like autofill feature. And if you're not comfortable with that, at least having your credit card right at hand. Obviously, if you could memorize your credit card number, which is kind of crazy to me, that's a possibility. or maybe copy the credit card number to your clipboard so that you can just paste it right in. Have the the 3-digit code ready and the expiration date and all that stuff like ready to go. Just give yourself like that little extra edge that other people are not going to have who aren't as prepared as you. And just make sure you double check your home address in storehorseman.com just so that there's no surprises, because that would suck having to change your address in the middle of that quick process. Seconds count in these types of drops, especially if you're going to be going for like Thygar on Saturday the 11th, like a popular character. It's going to be gone in seconds. So I think that's all I have for you right now. If I left anything out, please let me know in the comments below. And until next time, may the force be with you.